Hi friends, I'm Sri. So today I'm going to explain about the different types of InnoDB isolation levels in the MySQL. Okay. So before go to the demo section, so you need to know what is isolation level, right? So isolation levels means it is the property of the acid. I mean, A for atomicity, C for consistency, I for isolation. Okay, and D for durability. So here from the acid property, that third property is isolation. So in MySQL, if you come to the isolation from for InnoDB, we have different types of isolation levels. So for currently we have 4 types of isolation levels. The first one is read uncommitted, and the second one is read committed, and the third one is repeatable read, and finally we have the serializable. Okay, so this is the order to say the isolation levels: read uncommitted, read committed, repeatable, and serializable. So each level have the step by step. You will have some more flexibility. Like if you come to the read uncommitted, the data rates are possible and non-repeatable rates are possible and Panther are possible in the read uncommitted. But if you come to read committed, here the data rates are not possible, but non-repeatable read and Panther are still possible. If you come to repeatable read, here data rates and the non-repeatable read, those are not possible, but still Panther actually here the Phantom rows are possible. Okay, Phantom rows are possible. And finally, if you come to serializable, these 3 are not possible. I mean, the data reads, non-repeatable, and Phantom, those 3 are not possible. But you have some disadvantages, kind of disadvantages in the serializable. So let's go to the demo section. I will show the demo for all these things. So you will get some clear idea about what is this 4 isolation levels, and what is at the end of the session you will understand what is data reads and what is non-repeatable read and what is phantom was. You will get understand. Okay. um, so as usual, I have prepared my SQL instance in my local environment. The MySQL server version is 5.7.35. Okay. So here, if for the transaction, for if to define the isolation level in MySQL, you have the variable transaction isolation. Okay. Select that transaction isolation. Okay. So this is a default one. Repeatable read. Repeatable read is the default one. Let me open one more session for the same MySQL only. Yeah. So here I have one more session. Okay, both are same MySQL instance only. I got 2 sessions. You can check the host name. If you check the host name, here also see both the host name are same. I have the same MySQL instance, but this is only one MySQL server. But I opened 2 sessions. Okay, I opened different 2 sessions to explain the isolation level. Okay, so the default one is repeatable read. So first I am going to set it to read uncommitted. This is the global change. You can dynamic. You can change without the MySQL restart. Okay, so just set global transaction isolation equal to read uncommitted. Okay. So after changing the global modification, I'm just reconnecting the session. If I check, my transaction isolation is now read uncommitted, and I'm in the session 2. This is session 2. From the session 2 also, I am just verifying at the transaction isolation. Okay, Yeah, so this is read uncommitted. Okay, in the both session, so I modified the transaction isolation levels to read uncommitted globally. Now let me tell you what is. Let me explain. Let me show the demo. What is read uncommitted? Okay, so I have the database tree, and then I have one table isolation level. Just I created this. If you view the table, here I have three records, the two columns ID and name. I have three records, 1 2 3, and the name, respective names are ABD. Okay, here also you can see the same. In the session 2 also, select star from isolation level, the same data. Okay, now MySQL, by default, the MySQL is auto commit, right? Auto commit is on by default in the MySQL. So it is fine. I'm just starting one transaction using the begin. I'm just starting one transaction in the session 1. This is my session 1. Okay, I'm just leaving the data inside the transaction. Here I started the transaction begin. Inside the transaction, I'm leaving the data. Select star from isolation level. Okay, I can see the data. Now I am doing one update transaction isolation level, set name equal to CCC, where ID equal to 3. Okay, so I just updated inside the transaction. See, I have started the transaction, but I did not commit the transaction yet. The transaction is not committed yet. Inside the transaction, I just given one select, and I made the update, and this is changed inside the transaction. Select star from isolation level. You can see the updated. You can see the change in the same session. But if I am going to check the session 2, this is the session 2. Here the you can see the old record. I'm executing the select star from isolation level again. Here also I can see the change, right? Previously for ID I had the DDD, but now this is CCC. See, here you need to think. In the session 1, I created one transaction. I do the modification, but I did not commit the transaction yet in the session 1. Okay, the transaction is not committed yet. I mean, this update change is not committed yet, but without commit, I can read the modification from the different session. Okay, from the session 2, I can read the modification, but the transaction is not committed yet. See here, I did not commit the transaction yet. I just modified the data. But in the session 2, from the different session, I can read the modification. I can read the non-committed data. Okay, this is called the dirty read. I mean, the transaction is not committed, but still I can read the modification. That is called a dirty read, and this is the way of this is how the read uncommitted works. Okay, so that dirty reads, the first thing that is possible in the read uncommitted. Again, I am telling, I created one transaction using the begin. I just display the records and made the update, I made the modification, but I did not commit the modification. But still, I can read the change from the differentiation. That is called the read uncommitted. Okay. Now, if I give the rollback, commit or rollback, whatever. Okay, now I given the rollback, and it is ABD, and here also you can see it is EB. That is fine. But inside the transaction, whenever the modification happens, you can read the modification. You can see the modification from the different session as well. That is called the dirty reads, and this is the behavior of read uncommitted. Okay. Now let's come to the second one. It is read committed. Second one is read committed. Okay. Let me explain. set. Yeah, set global transaction isolation equal to read committed. I'm just reconnecting the session. Transaction isolation. Yeah. Now my transaction isolation is read committed. Let me see the second session as well. Yeah. So here as well we have the read committed. Okay. Now let's see the data reads are happening here or not. That is the first thing. Okay, I am starting in the transaction begin. I'm just reading the data here. Select star from isolation level ABD. Okay, here also I'm just viewing the data. I can see the same ABD. Okay, now in the first session inside the transaction, I'm going to update, do the same update. Set name equal to CCC where ID equal to 33. I'm just going to do the same update. I just did the update. Now I'm going to see whether I can see the modification or not in the another session. Okay. See, now I am not able to see the modification. Here I am ABDD, here also ABDD, but I made the update in the session 1 using the CCC, but the modification is not displayed in the second session. Okay, but if I am using the read uncommitted, I can see the modification in the previous isolation level. But now we have the read committed. Here I am not able to read the modification from the different session. But if I commit, once I commit, I can see the modification now. Okay, so this is the difference between read committed and read committed. In the read uncommitted, you can see the modifications, even the data is not committed, you can see the modifications from the different session. But if you're having the isolation level read committed, you cannot see the modifications. I mean, that is called as a data reads. You cannot do the data reads with the read committed because it will not appear in the different session. But once the data is committed, you can see the modification from the different session. That is reasonable. Okay, that is fine. But here in the read committed transaction, we don't have the data reads. We avoided the data reads in the read committed. Okay, but still non-repeatable read and Panther those are possible. Okay, that is possible in the read committed. So let me explain what is non-repeatable read. Let me explain that in the demo. I am starting on first transaction here. I'm just begin, and I'm just reading the data ABC. Now I have ABC. Okay. Now in the session 2, this is session 2. Here also I am starting on transaction begin. Here also I am reading the data ABC. In this session 2, I am going to do an update. Isolation level set name equal to z where id equal to 3. Okay, this is I am doing in the session 2. I did the update in the session 2. In the session 1, I am executing the select again. Let me commit it here. I just committed. Okay, now I committed that update in the session 2. Okay, I just committed that update in the session 2. In the session 1, I am reading the select again. Now I am having the different value for the ID3 because I just updated in the session 2. Okay. So in the session 1, I started one transaction. For the first select, I have ABC, and for the second select, I have the ABC. But after the commit on the session 2, the third select, I have different result. AB is set because the update is affected the ID equal to 3. See, this is okay. I mean, this is fine, but still inside the transaction, I have the different result for the same select, right? I have this one transaction inside the same transaction. I have the same query, select star from isolation level, select star from isolation level. I have the same query, but inside the transaction, I can see the different results. Here I can see the ABC, and here I can see the ABZ. Okay, so this is called as a non-repeatable. Like uh, for the same transaction, you can see the different results. That is called as a non-repeatable. That is possible in the it is not fair, right? Because inside the transaction, you should see the same data. Some critical application, it might create some problem. Okay, so it is not advisable. This is also not fair. Actually, in the same transaction, you should see the same data. If the different session, I mean, the other sessions can affect your uh, I mean, data in the current session. So this is called as a non-repeatable data. So this is possible in the still this is possible in the read committed. Okay, now let me explain the repeatable read. The next one after the next level of isolation level, it is called as a repeatable read. So now we see what is read uncommitted and read committed, and what is dirty reads and what is non-repeatable read, right? Let's go to the next one. I'm going to change it as a repeatable read. Yeah, now it is repeatable read. Just reconnecting the session, and here also I have the repeatable read. Now let's see. I'm just starting on transaction begin. Okay, I'm starting on transaction begin. Here I am just viewing the data. Select a start from isolation level A, B, Z. Now I have this three data. Okay, now let's see the data reads and non-repeatable reads are, I mean, both those are accused. I mean, those are, we can verify those are possible here or not. Okay, I'm just doing one update on isolation level. Set name equal to CCC where ID equal to 3. Okay, I just changed it. If you see here in the different session, in the session 2, if you see the data, it is same A, B, Z. But we updated to it is named for ID, the name is CCC, but it is not visible. Okay, so we can calculate, okay, daddy reads are not possible in the repeatable read. This is fine. Now we can check the non-repeatable read is possible or not. Okay, I'm just committing this, and I'm starting the next one to check the non-repeatable read. I'm going to create another transaction begin, and I'm just viewing the data. Here we have ABC. Okay, if I check here also I have the ABCC. To check the non-repeatable read, let me create one transaction here. Begin. I'm just displaying the data here, ABCC. Now I'm going to do the update here. Update in the session 2. Okay, in the session 2, I'm going to do the update. Set name equal to Z, where ID equal to 3. Okay, and I'm also committing the data in the session 2. Okay, in the session 2. Here in the session 2, after the commit, you can see A, B, Z, Z. But this is the session when we already started the transaction, and it resulted we do the select, it is A, B, C, C. Now I am going to do the same select again. see here we already committed the data with the update name equal to z. Now let's see in the session 1. Here still you can see the same data only, abcc, but here we already committed. If we have the read committed isolation level, whenever we do the commit here, then the changes will be appear inside the transaction, right? That is called as a non-repeatable read. That happened in the read committed. But if you are using the repeatable read, we avoided that problem. We avoided both the problems, dirty reads and non-repeatable read. We avoided both the problems. Okay, but still in the repeatable read, phantom rows are possible. Okay, now we need to see what is phantom rows. Let me explain that. What is phantom rows? Let's commit all the transaction. Here I committed. Here it is already committed. Okay. Now this is my data, and I am going to create one new transaction in the session 1. I'm just viewing the select star from isolation level. I have the AB set is it. Okay. Now in the session 2, I am creating one more transaction, begin. Now instead of update, I am going to do an insert. Okay, insert into isolation level values 4 comma y. Okay, I just doing one insert, and I am also doing commit. Okay, I just did the commit. So if I do the select in the session 2, I can see all the 4 rows, 1 2 3 and 4. But if I am doing in the select in the session 1, I already created the transaction. I am doing the select inside the transaction. It is the same a b z only. I am not able to see the 4th row. But so if I am able to see the 4th row, then the non-repeatability, that is possible, right? Here, so we already avoided that problem using the repeatability. But here the Panther rows are possible, right? Here I made one insert and I committed that. Now but after the insert and I committed in the session 2, still I am not able to see the data in the session 1. But if I am doing the update for that committed row, like, so let me show the example. Update isolation level set name equal to AB, where ID equal to 4. See, inside the transaction in the session 1, here we have only 1 2 3. Okay, 1 to 3 ID. When we started the transaction, we are able to see 1 to 3, and those data is maintaining still. We already made one update in the session 2 with the ID 4. This, and we already committed the data. In the session 2, I am able to see 1 2 3 4, but still I am able to see the 1 2 3 only inside the transaction in session 1. Now I am going to do the update on the ID 4. Okay, which was committed on the S2. I just updated the row. Now I am again doing the select. Now I am able to see the all 4 rows with the updated data ABA. Okay, so this is called as a phantom rows. This is possible in the this is the only this one is possible in the repeatable. Okay, so the other data modification, other session modification will not affect this. But still, if you are doing the modification from the on the data which is modified from the session 2, the other session, then it will be appear in your transaction. That is called as a phantom rows. Okay, so hopefully yeah, this is understandable, right? Now let's commit this. So this is the phantom rows. This is the only possibility in the repeatable. Okay, so from the read uncommitted, you can see the modification from the different sessions. So here dirty reads and non-repeatable reads and phantom rows, everything is possible. If the read committed, you can see only the committed data from the differentiation. You cannot see the modified data from the differentiation. So here the non-repeatable read and the Panther pros are possible. And from the repeatable read, it will maintain the snapshot. But if the data is modified from the differentiation and also in the same transaction, you are doing some modification on the same data from the differentiation, then you can see the rows which are modified from the other sessions. So that is called as a Panther rows. They shown the example. If you have some doubts about this, just give the comment. Personally reach me. I'm super happy to explain this. Okay, and the final one is serializable. Let's go to this. Serializable. Yeah, I'm just reconnecting the session. Yeah, now it is serializable. And I'm also checking here. I'm reconnecting the session. Here also I have the serializable. Okay. Now let me select start from session. Yeah, okay. So currently we have 4 values. Let me begin on transaction. Let me start on transaction. Begin. Inside the transaction, I just read the table. I just executed the select. Now from the different session, in the session 2, I'm starting on transaction and I am just trying to update one data. Okay. Update set name equal to JJJ where ID equal to 4. See, I just did the update, but this is not happening. This is just waiting for the log. Okay, I am just opening one more session. Sudo su MySQL show process list. I'm just checking the process list. You can see the update is still running. Okay, because what serializable will do, it whenever you are doing the select inside the transaction, it will occur the lock in the shared mode. Okay, so once the lock is released, then only it will allow the modification from the other transaction, other sessions. Okay, so now we made the lock using the serializable, using the begin and commit, and we executed one update from the different session, but it was not happened. You can see lock wait time out exceeded. Try transaction restarting transaction again, because it will wait until the InnoDB lock wait time out. Let's say select at that InnoDB lock wait timeout. Okay, it is 50. So the update will run for the 50 seconds. After the 50 seconds, the lock is not released, then the update will failure. The lock wait time exceeded. Now let's do another update. It is also running now. Now it is still running. Now let me commit here. I just committed the data here. See here, you can see the update is completed. You can see it is taking it taken 8.94 seconds. It is a simple update, but it is taking the 8.94 seconds due to the locking. Okay. So this is how the serializable is working. It will allow it will block the other sessions. Simply, it will block the other sessions. This is more isolated. Your transaction is isolated more with using the serializable, but in the production scenario, it is not applicable because in your production you may connect from the different sessions and you are doing the modification changes, right? If you are using the serializable, then you will face a lot of logs in your database. Okay, so this serializable mostly people are not using. The most recommended one is the repeatable read. You can use it for your application. Okay, so hopefully this is understandable. The demonstration is understandable how the isolation is work. But still, if you again, I am telling the isolation level is nothing. It is how the transaction is isolated from the other transaction. For the MySQL, we have the different levels: read uncommitted, read committed, repeatable, read, and serializable. And to explain that, we also covered the data reads and non-repeatable reads and the Panther brush. Okay, so if someone anything you have the doubt, just give the comment or directly reach me. I'm happy to help on this. And again, if you like this video, just share with your friends who is learning the MySQL. And for more videos, just subscribe my channel as well. Okay, bye. Thank you.